Continue digging into ways the city is addressing violent crime all across Indianapolis. Every week, the police department meets with the city's Office of Public Health and Safety to talk about fatal and non-fatal shootings.
Yeah, it's interesting. The National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform recommended these meetings to identify those who might retaliate or look at formed networks responsible for a lot of the violence. Well, tonight, Fox 59's Courtney Crown is continuing to bring us new information about the city's anti-crime fight.
Yeah, Courtney, what can you tell us about these meetings?
Well, Dan and Fanchon, the goal is to identify families in need of extra help following loss and discuss any threats of retaliation. They also keep their eyes on people involved in groups committing crimes. With at least 163 people killed in Indy so far this year and at least 475 people shot, police and those working in outreach focus on trying to get ahead of the violence.
We have shooting reviews, so we go through all of those folks that have been involved in a non-fatal shooting. What can we do to impact their lives, giving their names and trying to provide those resources.
IMPD meets with the Office of Public Health and Safety each week to connect the violence reduction team with people directly or indirectly involved in the week's shootings.
We talk about, identifying families that may need resources based on their loss. We talk about if there's any connections for retaliation.
A recent report on Indy's gun violence problem found many crimes involve group members or criminally active street groups. Crime Gun Intelligence Center analysts keep their eyes on these people and often know their names.
There is a loyalty, but it seems that loyalty can be broken, which then allows a splinter to occur. The group separates. Now you went from one group to two groups that now are not seeing eye to eye, which can result in shots fired with some type of violence to occur between them.
Data shows those involved in homicides are overwhelmingly young men, ages 18 to 34. To prevent more people from dying or going to prison, the Office of Public Health and Safety returns to schools this fall to talk with teens.
Our goal is to touch those kids that go to those schools that may find themselves either teetering to join those groups or are fully active in those groups.
Well, the city plans to use some of the funding from the American Rescue Plan to expand OPH's peacekeepers. This means 50 people made up of caseworkers, violence interrupters, and resource coordinators. Reporting in the newsroom tonight, Courtney Crown, Fox 59 News.
Okay, Courtney, thank you.